All right, ladies, continuing on in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, to employers, page 142. Next, he can be assured that you do not intend to lecture, moralize, or condemn. If this was done formally, it was because of misunderstanding. If possible, express a lack of hard feeling toward him. At this point, it might be well to explain alcoholism, the illness. Say that you believe he is a gravely ill person. With this qualification, perhaps fatally ill, does he want to get well? You ask because many alcoholics, being warped and drugged, do not want to quit. But does he? Will he take every necessary step, submit to anything to get well, to stop drinking forever? If he says yes, does he really mean it? Or down inside, does he think he is fooling you, and that after rest and treatment, he will be able to get away with a few drinks now and then? We believe a man should be thoroughly probed on these points. Be satisfied he is not deceiving himself or you. Whether you mention this book is a matter for your discretion. If he temporizes and still thinks he can never drink again, even beer, he might as well be discharged after the next bender, which, if an alcoholic, he is almost certain to have. He should understand that emphatically. Either you are dealing with a man who can and will get well, or you are not. If not, why waste time with him? This may seem severe, but it is usually the best course. Well, we could take those 3 paragraphs and say, here's a lesson on sponsorship. Absolutely 100%. If you want to learn how to sponsor and work with someone and whether you should continue or not, page 142 sounds like a really great guide. But of course, we are speaking to employers. So this is an employer approaching his employee and trying to direct about alcoholism. The employer in this case is armed with the facts of this book and is aware of the disease of alcoholism and is basically trying to 12-step his employee. But for my purposes as a sponsor, this is a great set of directions for sponsoring someone. Absolutely great. If you're wondering what you should say, how you should say it, if you should proceed or don't proceed, there's basically step-by-step right here. Questions, comments, concerns, experiences. I just look right at your screen now, Marianne. Go ahead.
Hi, friends. I am an alcoholic from Toronto, Canada. My name's Marianne. I know I have in the margin here, check the sincerity. So, as you say, with sponsorship, because I have not been an employer, but when this person pointed out, check the sincerity, I go back to myself and how many times did a person want me to go get help? And I said, yeah, I'll go. But I had no interest in the solution or getting help even. So when I check the sincerity based on my experience, you can get pretty attuned to where somebody is. And so anyway, the person who took me through this book knew me, I guess, and check the sincerity beside that. So thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, my old sponsor said, qualify your prospect. And basically, these are the qualifying questions. And the number one thing is that we think, I'm just going to get out of this current situation and then, I'll be okay. And I mean, we don't want to waste our time with someone who hasn't conceded to themselves that they can never drink again. But we want to make sure they understand the disease and how it's going to affect them. We just go, oh, you don't want to quit, beat it. No. It's like, well, do you understand this disease? Like, let's talk a little bit about what alcoholism is and what's probably going to happen. Because we're pretty sure you're going to be back if you make it. Anyone else reaching to put their little blue hand up or waving at me? Gloria. iPad, go ahead. You got to unmute.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Were you talking about me?
No, Gloria.
Okay, hi Gloria. I'm Gloriana.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Gloria.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'll go to Catherine and I can come back to you, okay?
Sure.
All right, Catherine. Oh, I hit your mute.
Sorry. Hi guys, my name is Catherine. I'm an alcoholic. I was just going to share based on I have been let go from many a job based on my drinking, and I recall not only being devastated. In retrospect, I am thankful because I would have said anything possible to keep my job, anything to keep the job, but every time I got let go from a job, it was just sort of that constant reminder. God is like hitting me over the head saying, you've got a problem. You've got a problem. So it was ultimately for my good. But it just crushed me every time because I thought, oh, I'm not hiding it well enough. Mm-hmm. But eventually I thought, you really got to stop. And so eventually I did. But I'd hate to let someone have to go because of their drinking, but I really, truly believe that it can save them, do more good than harm. That's all I got.
Thanks, Catherine. Gloria, did you remember what you were going to say? You got to hit your unmute, love.
Shoot. You didn't hear what I said. I said a bad word. I was let go from my job once or twice, more than twice, lots of times, and I was only fooling myself, not the employer. So, I was really scared, and I was trying to stay as far away from people as possible, but it's impossible in an assembly line. I'm trying to, I worked at Maple Leaf in North Battleford for a long time, and my employer eventually let me go. I threw a helmet at him, actually. So, I became pretty violent and pretty ill and pretty. I demanded they let me stay, actually, but pretty bold of me. And, no, I like this chapter. I like what I heard so far, and it makes sense. And I think that if my sponsor was to read this, it would be great stuff. So.
Thanks, Gloria. Veronica, good morning, afternoon. Did you get there you unmute? I'm hitting, there you go.
Veronica, alcoholic. Good morning, ladies. From Los Angeles. Thank you for sharing, and thank you so much for the reading. I'm going to take a different spin on this. I was working for an aerospace company, and I went to my EAP, which is my employee assistance program person. And somebody at the office just suggested that I, just go talk to somebody. And when I went to talk to her, I had no idea, none whatsoever, that we were going to talk about drinking. I had no idea that my life was being ruined by alcohol. And she was asking me these questions like, how often do you drink? And in my head, I'm quickly thinking to myself, ooh, what's the right answer? What's the right answer? What's the normal amount? Because I knew I didn't drink normally, but I didn't know it was such a problem in my life. And so she sent me to a 13th month program that was outpatient. So Monday through Friday, I kept my job. I worked 8 to 5 and then 5:30 to 10:30 every Monday through Friday. I went to this outpatient program and I got the education of alcoholism. Additionally, at the center, we also had AA meetings, so it was kind of like a very nice, smooth transition. And so I'm an Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm trudging along. I'm doing what's suggested of me. I have a sponsor, and at about 5 years of sobriety, I'm wondering, where is my happy, joyous, and free? Like, I am watching people just get into recovery, and I'm not feeling like I'm in recovery. And part of that was, of course, my own fault because I did not do that thorough fifth step. I kind of did just enough to get by because there were still some things that I was taking to my grave. So 5 years later, I go back to that EAP because I trusted her so much because I saw the difference my life was from 5 years prior, that I was willing to do whatever she told me to do. And she suggested that I go inpatient for 30 days out in the desert. And coincidentally, this was a Friday. Monday, I'm on an airplane. I'm flying to Tucson, Arizona, which coincidentally is where I was born. So I kind of felt like I did that whole circle and really dug deep and peeled the onion even deeper. And, if anybody's balking on that fifth step, I encourage you to really do it. You don't want to be in the desert in August, 110 degrees, giving your fifth step to a nun. But, I was willing to go to any lengths because I trusted the process and I wanted what everybody else, what I could see in other people. I wanted that happy, joyous, and free. So thank you so much. I'm going to mute now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about EAP in the next paragraph too. EAP is great program. I used to administrate it as my job, and so there's so many advances in EAP and support in from your employers. I really love those programs. Joan, good morning, afternoon.
Good morning. This is just a small point of history, to be honest with you, that I'm kind of proud of. But my late partner, her father, the Reverend Dr. Clifford Peace, started the first in the United States official employer program for alcoholics at R.J. Reynolds Tobacco. And the model for it was carried all across the United States. So I'm kind of proud of that association anyway. And his family gave me his 12 and 12. He used the big book and the 12 and 12 in his program, in establishing this program. And just for the record, that program is still functioning today. So there's been a lot of people helped by employer programs, just as a thumbs up to them. And anyway, I'm kind of proud to be associated, at least in that regard. That's it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, how did Catherine do speaking? Oh, you're muted.
She was great.
See, Catherine, why are you covering your face?
She did a phenomenal job. Got all sorts of applause and hands up.
Good stuff. She must be paying attention and have some good support. Awesome. All right, ladies, let's keep going. Bottom of 142 for those who may have joined us a little bit past start. After satisfying yourself that your man wants to recover and that he will go to any extreme to do so, you may suggest a definite course of action. For most alcoholics who are drinking or who are just getting over a spree, a certain amount of physical treatment is desirable, even imperative. The matter of physical treatment should, of course, be referred to your own doctor. Whatever the method, its object is to thoroughly clear mind and body of the effects of alcohol. In competent hands, this seldom takes long, nor is it very expensive. Your man will fare better if placed in such a physical condition that he can think straight and no longer craves liquor. If you propose such a procedure to him, it may be necessary to advance the cost of treatment, but we believe it should be made plain that any expense will later be deducted from his pay. It is better for him to feel fully responsible. If your man accepts your offer, it should be pointed out that physical treatment is but a small part of the picture. Though you are providing him with the best possible medical attention, he should understand that he must undergo a change of heart. To get over drinking will require a transformation of thought and attitude. We all had to place recovery above everything, for without recovery, we would have lost both home and business. Can you have every confidence in his ability to recover? While on the subject of confidence, can you adopt the attitude that so far as you are concerned, this will be a strictly personal matter, that his alcoholic dialections, the treatment about to be undertaken, will never be discussed without his consent? It might be well to have a long chat with him on his return. So they're talking there about detox and treatment. And I love that middle paragraph where it's like, if your man accepts your offer, it should be pointed out that physical treatment is but a small part of the picture. You know, a lot of people go to treatment. They think 30, 60, 90 days, they're good. That is just the physical separation from the alcohol. We call it detox. You're not changed. And I personally, this is my personal opinion, think that it's really expensive these days to go to treatment. And then you leave and you have this misconstrued thought that all is well. And then you just carry on your days not having that change that it says, the requirement of that transformation of thought and attitude. We get that in here. So for my prospects, when they ask me my opinion, and I said this is my opinion and it's just based on book and experience, physical detox from alcohol is great at a detox center, a hospital, whatever you need, because a lot of us need that medical attention to prevent the seizures and all of the withdrawal symptoms. And then just do the work in the book. Absolutely. But some people do need the treatment centers, and I have a girl, and she goes and pays $20,000 for them to keep her away from alcohol. She's paying a babysitter and not doing the work. And then she gets out, and within 2 or 3 weeks, she's picked up again. It is individual. I'm not saying this is the case in all, but I recommend 12-step treatment centers that go through this book and hook you up with a sponsor so you continue growing after treatment. But medical detox is wise and what it's talking about. I like it how it says that it's not very expensive. Well, 1934 maybe nowadays, like you can pay a pretty penny for treatment and then you think you're okay and you're not. And definitely that last paragraph, it applies even if you're reading this as a sponsor or as an employer. Keeping confidence. Not your business to talk to other people about what's going on. You know, I, in directing these big book studies, speak generally of people. I never mention who they are. I never make any kind of indication on where that story comes from. So it doesn't get traced back to anyone. Plus, pick a sponsee, any sponsee. You couldn't narrow it down anyways because there's so many girls that have gone through the book. So we have to keep that confidence, especially if it's in a workplace. He's on medical leave. That's it. All you need to say, medical leave. Nobody's business but the person going through and the human resources director. And if anyone else is talking about it, we need to remind them to MYOB. I use that a lot on Facebook, MYOB. If anything, it makes them pause and try to remember what it means. Chat, discussion.
Hi, I'm Kathy Ann.
Hi, Kathy Ann.
Hi, I'm an alcoholic. I went to treatment. I was in treatment for 30 days. When I got out, I picked up after 9 months. It cost me $12,000, and since I picked up after 9 months, and I've been in and out for the last 4 years. And I'm having a really hard time right now. Maybe I'm getting off topic, but just wanted to say that I'm thinking about going back into treatment again. But right now you can't find it, and it's even more expensive.
Do you have a sponsor?
I don't anymore, and I'm stuck on step 4.
Okay, well, we're going to back you up a little bit, and I want you to find a sponsor by the end of today's talk. At least a temporary one. Who here is available to temporary sponsor? Raise your hand.
I'm available.
Pick a square, any square. Seriously, loop in, grab some of these phone numbers, and get the work done. Honest to God, you can get a solid foundation in 2 weeks. Pick an alcoholic square, get a phone number, and start talking to that person. I know Bev's available, Angie's available. I think Marianne had her hand up. Della can get into doing this now. She's got a good base. MJ, who else had their hand up? Margaret's amazing. Deborah's amazing. Leslie G. Look at the phone numbers in the chat, Kathy Ann. You can get support here, and these are girls that know this book and can support you. Make sure you got that solid 1, 2, 3, and then get that 4 done. Absolutely. There's your project by the end of today. You got 34 minutes to pick a temporary sponsor. And if that one doesn't work, come back Wednesday and try the next one. I swear, you don't need to...
I'm on my iPhone, so I can only see the person that's speaking. I don't have the
Okay,
whole...
so on your iPhone, if you hit your screen, you guys have to help me because I'm, you know me and my, if you hit your screen, what is the button, Della, that she hits to get the chat? Anybody? So you,
More.
I think it's the chat. You can hit.
You're in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see phone number.
So grab some phone numbers out of the chat, screenshot it. Click your buttons and screenshot those phone numbers in the chat. And if those phone numbers don't work, come back on Wednesday and get some more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sorry to get off the topic.
No, this is why we're here. That's not off topic at all. This is why we're here. Grab an alcoholic and try it out. Save yourself $12,000 in some time.
Okay.
I would be willing to do that.
Yeah, we've got tons of girls happy to help. All right.
Well, I'm heading up to Hawaii in a week.
Well, we got Kelowna, right? Kelowna, where are you, Kelowna? Did I give you Kelowna's number last time? Yes.
Yes, you did.
Kelowna, what island are you on?
Oahu. Island of Oahu.
So I think, Kathy Ann, you said you were going to Maui?
Yeah. But
So,
it doesn't really matter because we're doing Zoom.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Give me a
have
call,
Kelowna's
girl.
number. Call Kelowna. She'll hook you right up. Save yourself 12 grand and get yourself some solution in your life. We got you. We got you.
Okay.
You're on my watch list.
I want to hear a phone call from you today at some point, please.
Okay. Call somebody.
Thank you so much. Okay. Good girls. Awesome. Marianne.
Yeah, please feel free to call me anytime, anybody. But you know what, too? With my non-alkies around me, they think you go to treatment, you come home and you're better, too. So you got to just remember what you have to do after you get home.
Yeah. And my favorite, mind your own business. I'm working my program. I'm working my recovery. Eyes on the prize. MJ, are you in a different place?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I was just thinking my experience with treatment. I didn't go to treatment. I came into AA, and by the grace of God, I haven't gone back out. But both my kids, we sent them to treatment and cost us way more than $12,000. My son went twice. He got kicked out of the first one, and then the second time he graduated and then started drinking once he got out of treatment, because AA wasn't for him. Even though it was an AA-based treatment center, he just said no to AA. And my daughter went to treatment and then went straight into AA. It was also an AA-based treatment center, so on Vancouver Island. So, but they both drank again, but eventually they went to AA, and AA has been their foundation. So I guess like treatment is great, I guess, for some people, and I don't know, but it was certainly a lot of money, that's for sure. And now they're in the programs, both of them doing it for free. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing for people who need to be separated from alcohol. But if you're continually going to treatment, we need to take a peek at that, because we can get you through the book and get you a solution that may be what you're missing. I have a friend, I called him AA Ron, and they actually nicknamed him the Jaywalker in our area. And he literally the nickname of the Jaywalker, and he showed up with the cast one day, which was funny. But he finally, we tried all these different things and nothing worked, and then he got into the right treatment center, got the right sponsor through a meeting, and is in the book, in the work. Now he's doing great. Della.
Hi, lady.
Oh shoot, I muted you.
There we go. Okay, I saw it. So yes, I went to treatment, but this is why I'm so grateful for 164 and you, Kimberly, and the ladies line by line, is I barely even got to meetings before COVID hit, right out of treatment. And so now I'm learning it the right way, and I'm learning big book solutions. So yeah, so grateful. Because you can't just leave treatment out of that bubble and expect that everything's going to be okay. And so yeah, I'm so grateful I'm learning it the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know I say right way, and there's no wrong way. It's just the when they hit the right time and you get the right solution. Miss Joan. Gotta hit your...
Unmute.
There you go.
I have been associated with I never went to a detox. I detoxed in the rooms AA, and I can tell you, I really don't recommend that, because you shake you go through everything somebody in a detox center or a rehab goes through. You just don't have the personal physical care that you get there. And for the past 15 years, I have been either on the board of directors and or taking H&I meetings to a detox center here in Winston-Salem. And I know for this detox center and for several detox centers in this area that are really good, most of them have what you call scholarships. That if you don't have a job or you don't have insurance and you need rehab, you need to go to a rehab, generally through most emergency rooms. If you come in through an emergency room, they can help you get one of these scholarships. So just because you may not have the money to do it, I promise you, it is available out there. And I'm sure it is in Canada. If it is here, it is in Canada. So You know, I encourage people to go to detox. They have counselors, and if you really want to get sober, they can give you a great foundation to get started. And the one I'm associated with is a 12-step program. And they have also programs a lot of places don't have, the family afterward meetings, which are absolutely phenomenal in helping an alcoholic stay sober. So a thumbs up to detox and to recovery centers.
Absolutely. Yeah, here we have the same. So I as well am on a board of directors for a treatment center, and I've partnered with a foundation with my business that funds treatment center beds. It was a mom who lost a son to overdose, and she started a foundation, and they raise money to pay for treatment center beds. So there's foundations, there's government funding, different levels of government funding. We have our social services department. There's also something called a CATES referral here in British Columbia, which is through the health authority. Private funded beds are faster to get through your EAP or any other work program. Private funded beds are faster to get because they're going to take your money and get you in quick. But government beds, you can get on a wait list. And I'll tell you something about wait lists for detox and for treatment. The people in front of you in line don't always answer their phone when a bed comes up. So even if you are number 20 on the list, and they tell you it's 2 to 3 weeks wait, that doesn't mean anything. Here we have a central access where you can call one number for all the detoxes and they do all the referrals. Call them every day. Call them every day. They like the people that are on it and on it and on it, because there's people who aren't on it. And that bed might come up for that person, and that it's always the same people working there. They've got the same employees, and they'll be like, this girl is calling every day. She wants it. I can't get a hold of a guy who's got a bed, so we're going to give her the bed. So, we're really good at finding excuses. Well, there's a 2-week wait for detox. Yeah, and you know what? Alcoholics and addicts are flakes, so that 2-week wait can turn into a 1-day wait. Same as when I was waiting to have my surgery. I called the surgeon's office, and I said, I work from home. If you have a cancellation, I can be there in a minute. And they're like, okay, guess what? My surgery wait time went from 1.5 years to 2 weeks because someone always cancels. Same thing applies for detox. Glow.
Hey, how are you? First of all, I want to say I'm very thankful for being here with you ladies. It's wonderful. And what came up with all of this reading was the idea that half measures do avail us nothing. And it goes back to that whole how it works concept. And that it works if you work it, so work it. And that's the biggest part, because a lot of the people that, pain is a great motivator. They come in because they're a mess. They'll tell you anything they want you to hear to just get out of that pain, to get out of the scrape. And then, but if they don't do the work, and the detoxes are they can be wonderful. But, I've known a lot of people over the years that didn't have insurance. In fact, one guy who's, thank God, he's sober till today, he had connected up one of these old school AAs, and he had beers in his car, and he weaned himself off because he was trying to go cold turkey, and they said, no, you'll have a seizure. And it was so strange to me at the time. When I moved to New Jersey, I meet this guy. He was just a nice guy, but really burnt out. And the idea that he was just, I was like, oh my God, he's got beers in his car and all that. And it never really hit home. I didn't go to a detox. I just went to therapy. I was with this fiance, and I was able to afford therapy 5 days a week, and I still was drinking. Okay. So I didn't stop till later on. But that said, it's strange because I was at one point in California, and I met this couple, and this girl said, oh, I just got out of detox. And we'd gone to this burger place. I went with a friend of mine who's an earth person. And, it was a bar, but we were really hungry, and I was so, talk about very irritated that I had to go to a bar to get a burger because I really wanted a burger, and it was the only place to eat. It was in Mendocino, of all places. And this girl, we wound up sitting down waiting for a table, and we were with this young couple, and she's like, oh, I just got out of a detox. and she's drinking. And I said, you can't drink. What are you doing? Yes, I can. I said, no, you can't drink. You'll be drugging in no time. And then she went on to talk about how this elaborate, expensive detox. And I think I bummed her out. Maybe I was an angel indirectly. I was just like, oh my God. And I said to my friend, let's get out. Like, I got to leave this table. I want to sit down somewhere and just eat. So I was in a halt moment on top of it all, but it was strange. And I think that's the idea. A lot of people go to a detox and they think it's going to be a magic wand, and it's not. They've got to do the work. Anyway, that's what came up, and thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Flo. I think I've told the story of my ex-husband's friend who his EAP program sent him to treatment for his addiction and alcohol problems, and he showed up to treatment with a case of beer. And he says, I'm not here for the booze, I'm only here for the drugs. And they're like, whoa, it don't work like that. Oh, man. The stories we have. Margaret.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Kim. It's great reading. My experience is that I did go into detox, but only for about 24 hours. And then I was able to get sober with Alcoholics Anonymous. I did not go to treatment. There was lots of times I thought that I would like to, but I got into the meetings, I got into the big book, and I had a sponsor. But some of this sharing has actually reminded me of a very sad story of a fellow that I knew, one of my clients and his family. And this fellow didn't want to go to meetings in our area. It was a small town in northern BC. And he didn't want to go to meetings because he didn't want to be recognized, and he was afraid there would be people there that would know him. So he had his name in for a treatment center in Alberta. And the counselor that was to take him on went away for a couple of weeks. So Josh had to wait. He had to wait for a couple of weeks. In that 2 weeks that he was waiting and not going to AA meetings, he was murdered. He was murdered outside an apartment. And, you know, I had to have a long talk, or not have to, but I had a long talk with his parents, his father. And Josh had a little baby. And, you know, sometimes I'm just really reminded, like, I've done lots and lots of 12-step work, because before treatment centers were so prevalent and fairly easily accessible, I mean, I've gone and sat with people on 12-step calls. And that's what we used to do more of through central office. You know, you get a phone call, you go on a 12-step call, you go and you go to the meetings with those people. And you call them every day, and you take the big book. I've been on 12-step calls where we had to take a Mickey of alcohol because that person was in such rough shape. But, you know, I think treatment centers are great. Everybody's got their own story, whatever the story might be. But there is no substitute for the work. We have to do the work if we want it. That's all there is to it. And I've heard so many people share here this morning that's what's got to happen. And we do get the repeat treatments that, you know, it's so sad. It breaks my heart when I see people at these meetings and they're in and out and in and out. There's no judgment. I know we've all got our own story, but there is a solution, and the solution is in the book. And just super appreciate these meetings. There's no easier, softer way. Alcoholics Anonymous is the easier, softer way, in my opinion. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sometimes I hate to say it, you just want to shake them and be like, there's a solution. Come on. It's so frustrating. You know, and at the treatment center I work with, they you know, the waiting list, a lot of the times they call number one guy and the family answers, oh no, he's passed away. Like, they die while they're on the wait list for the treatment center. It's heartbreaking. We had my home group met for the first time since COVID on Saturday night. And, you know, 2 home group members were coming back and 2 are no longer with us. And then we had 2 newcomers show up. So it's like, now and more than ever, we have to carry this message. And if You gotta shake them. You gotta shake them. Like I am not against disturbing people, and y'all know Joe's the same way. Like we're like, you're gonna die. Like, come on, just try it. Who says it? We're gonna refund your misery. You can friggin' go back and be as miserable as you want if it doesn't work for you, but like, just try it. Marianne.
Well, I made the mistake of going to treatment and being full of self-knowledge and trying to figure myself out. So I made that mistake. But I've had this sort of revelation in the last few weeks, and it's there are those who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. I can tell you that was me, and I have recovered because of this program and because of all the other help I needed to get. So, but I have to talk. I can't do it by myself. Self-knowledge almost killed me a couple of times. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, the book talks about it. Self-will, self-knowledge, and fear. Over and over and over again, these solutions are talked about in our book, and they fail each and every time. Della!
Della alcoholic. I was going to say too, in Canada, we have specialized treatment centers for people that work in the medical field too. So that if, you're a little worried about, seeing one of your patients or just being in that general bubble with, other people, there are specialized treatment centers for people that work in the medical field, and even uniformed professionals as well, like Army and that sort of things. So it is there if you need it, for sure.
Yeah, we even have LGBTQ. We have trans. There is a program for everyone nowadays. Literally, there is. And all you got to do is Google it. That Mr. Google, he can find you whatever you need. Treatment center dash, whatever you want. There's treatment centers for moms where the babies can come along. There's care. My girlfriend works there and changes diapers, and I'm jealous. She gets to play with babies all day. Alrighty, Amy B.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay. As far as rehabs go, I've actually been in 4, 2 in Colorado, which is where I'm from, and then 2 in the East Coast. And it was what I needed at the time just to get me some time. Unfortunately, I did after time relapse. And one of the programs in Colorado, I was fortunate because I went to the ER, and I was fortunate in the fact that I didn't have to wait. They got me into a rehab right away. So, thank goodness there was, that connect as far as going to the ER. Thank goodness. And I got into a rehab right away, which gave me some time. But like y'all ladies say, I stayed sober for a little bit, but I didn't get, I wasn't getting what, thank goodness, I was guided to the Big Book study on Tuesday, Thursdays. And it's a whole different story as far as, the solution and everything like that. So I'm so grateful that I was guided to the Tuesday and Thursday, because unfortunately the rehabs I did go to, they didn't get into the book right away. They accommodated you as far as getting sober and getting a structure and getting time, but without the Big Book, I did end up relapsing, and I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. I didn't know there was more, and I didn't know that was gonna not start my life on, on sobriety. And so, they are good because at the time that's exactly what I needed. But unfortunately, I did end up relapsing over time. And I am on the East Coast right now. And thank goodness, for whatever reason, I'm here. And I was guided to you all in this women's meeting. And so I couldn't be more happy. And thank you all for sharing. It's definitely helped me. So thank you.
Thank you, Amy. So happy to see you put your hand up. That's wicked. Let's see who's next. Debbie. Is that Yipsy? Is that how we say that?
Hi. Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm an alcoholic, and I always come to this meeting. I'm so thankful for all of you ladies and Kimberly for you running it. And I normally don't have my video on, and I normally don't share. But I wanted to share my experience and hope from going to a treatment center. So I try to detox myself off of drugs, pain medication, and anxiety medication, and drinking, and I nearly killed myself by myself. So I have 2 older daughters and a younger one. I called the 2 older ones and I said, I'm dying. Something is wrong. It's probably my heart or something. I don't know. Well, then we figured out I was an addict and alcoholic. So I came. I'm in Michigan. I came out to Ann Arbor to go to a treatment center. I was in detox for 2 days. I think I had to go to the hospital for 4 because I was so bad. And I went to a treatment center for 4 months. And the whole time there, I'm thinking, that none of it made sense. Nothing made sense to me because I was having my super nice apartment all packed up and put into storage by movers. I had given up everything. My car, my apartment, my friends, I wouldn't even talk to my friends. My children, I gave them space. They needed space to process what was going on because I couldn't even process it. So I spent 4 months in a treatment center, going to a meeting every single day, getting a sponsor, getting a home group. So I was so ignorant. Like the group that I walked up after a meeting and I said, I would like this to be my home group. Like, do I have to fill out an application for that, or how do I do this? They said, you just did it. I mean, it's so, why do we complicate things? Why do I do that in my head? I complicate every single thing. So I went from the treatment center to transitional living for 2 years. So this is like the whole thing just seems so unreal, yet so real. It works. I mean, I don't have to question it. It's like sending a text. I can type a text and hit send. I don't have to have a fiber optic or telecommunication knowledge to know why that does that. I just know that I was an addict alcoholic, and they said go to AA, and it works. I don't have to question it. So the hope is, yesterday I actually moved into a very, very nice apartment with someone in recovery and got my things out of storage. So it works. I mean, it does it. Claim your seat. Like, get in there and get it done and claim your seat, because this does work. I am convinced, I know for sure I would have been dead by now if I hadn't done something. And those kids that dropped their mom off at rehab and treatment. And my one daughter said, Mom, you have 3 daughters that just want their mom back. That's all they wanted. So I'm back. I'm back, and those are the same children who helped me yesterday. So just do it. Just do it. The rewards are just phenomenal. Thank you for letting me share, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Debbie. I am so glad you're here, and good luck on your new phase in your journey. It's absolutely amazing. In listening, I just want to remind people too that Alcoholics Anonymous has an amazing program called Bridging the Gap. So if you don't know what that is, please message me, call your local central office, ask your sponsor. Bridging the Gap program is amazing. They help people from when they leave treatment or jail or anywhere and help them get to a meeting and get connected in the community. You can call your local central office and get your name on the Bridging the Gap phone list so that when someone leaves the treatment center, get on that committee. Committees need people on them. Everybody's like, get a service position, and they go and they make coffee and greet people. Those are great service positions when you're new, but if you've been here for a while, get on a committee. Help us. There's committees that are starving for support, and they don't do much work because there's nobody working on those committees. So, call up, ask when the Bridging the Gap committee is. If they say we don't have one right now, volunteer. Call up the treatment centers. Make sure they have the forms. Make sure they're connecting their patients to our program when they leave the treatment center. These things are super, super important. It's how we get them in the doors when they get out of treatment. You want to find some sponsees, get on that Bridging the Gap phone list. They'll be calling you. And then get on the committee and make sure that they're using our services. All right. We will end there. We're on the bottom of 143. We will continue next time.